This is Agency Diary. Basically, what we do, we review progress and I talk about how I'm documenting my business online. So, I'm building a social media marketing and management agency. These two things are actually very different. Social media marketing is different from social media management. Don't get it twisted. Marketing, what we do is we focus on sales of that business, but for social media management we focus on building the brand visibility, awareness, so on and so forth. So the last time I uploaded was last week, and from last week up to this week we've cash collected about 185,000 naira. So we collected 150 from a client and 35 from another client. Now you'll be wondering, 35 isn't not small. The first thing about building a business, especially online, is the key factor is how much value can you give for how much can you receive. So the difficulty of the service you are providing or the difficulty of the value you are giving is directly proportional to how much you are being paid. That's first of all. Second of all, what you should focus on as a beginner is how can I get my business running? How can I collect cash? Cash flow. For me personally, there are things I could do that I would charge way higher, but I would not do them at the beginning because I am testing out systems, I'm testing out principles, I'm testing out strategies for my clients to get results. So there are whale clients and there are normal clients. So whale clients are clients that pay us above 150,000 naira for 1 month. That includes management and probably a basic return on ad spend. Basically, that's the two things. So we collected 185,000 naira for this week from the last time I uploaded till today when I'm going to be uploading this. So I'm going to be uploading this on a Friday, so till today. So this week we've collected 185,000 naira. It's beautiful because first and foremost I understand how it's going. The next thing we're going to talk about that people always ask me is, how do you get clients? That is the most important question everyone is asking. Gift, how can I get clients as a beginner social media marketer or manager? I'm also fairly new to the game, but there are two ways that I've mastered. There are two ways I know how to. That is me, I'm teaching you what I know personally. There are two ways alone I know. That is how to send messages on DM, that Instagram DM, not LinkedIn DM, and then cold call or warm call. Okay, so back to what I was saying. Sorry for the breaking transmission. My microphone battery ran out, so I had to switch it before continuing what I was saying. So I said there are basically two ways I know how to get clients: Instagram DMs and warm calls. Warm calls, that is when you call me, when a potential client calls me and the client has an idea of what I do or how I can provide value to them. It's called warm. But cold call includes you just calling a business or a client and pitching your service to them. So I'm very, very good. I won't say very, very good. Fairly little. The little test I've made so far, I've been able to convert warm calls and then cold DMs. Cold DMs, which is the first point I want to talk about, is you basically reaching out to businesses on Instagram that don't know you at all. So you're basically going to send out messages to those people or those businesses pitching your service. So first tip for Instagram DM is, or let me run you through my process that I use when I'm pitching to clients. So first of all, I started with fitness coaches. All right, so what I do basically, I go on Instagram, I look for a fitness influencer, so someone that's in the fitness space that is doing very well. Now I go through their followers or their following, so people they are following or their followers, and then I just type in fitness coach, and then I get to see people that are fitness coaches inside that person's follower list or following list, and then I begin to send them messages. So the first thing I do is I type yo YOOOOO, the person's name. So if I'm sending a message to myself as a fitness influencer, I'll be like yo gift. Now the idea of sending yo is you are just being chill, you're just being goofy, you're not being salesy, like you're not selling an idea, you just want to get a response. That's the first thing. So when I say yo, I put in the person's name and I send the message. Now, what happens is most times they would open. But before I send that message, I try as much as possible to like their first picture, their second picture, or comment on anything. Why do you do that? You like and comment on their post before you send a message so that your message would get into their primary or their general, right? So you want your messages to go to your primary or general. Most cases it goes to general, so they would get to see your message. Now, if you don't like or post, if you don't like a post or a video or whatever, what happens is your message goes directly to requested, right? So your message, especially when you're blasting out lots of messages, the algorithm just concludes that you're a bot. So like, do whatever you want to do to their page, interact with their page before sending a message. That's the first tip I'll give. Tip number 2, when you are sending a message, do not copy and paste. You have to type it. If you copy and paste, your account will get flagged. That's tip number 2. Tip number 3, which is going to be the last tip if I continue to talk about how I send messages. Tip number 3 is try as much as possible to send below 50 messages per hour. If you send above 50 messages, your account completely gets banned for like 12 hours or 24 hours. Depends. So these are the 2 tips. Now, back to what I was saying. When you send you get a response. So the person is going to be like, for my page, is going to be like, hey, gifts, or hey, whatever. And then the next message I'm going to say is, I just binged on your content and noticed you're doing well, you're growing on the media space, but you want to build a social media presence and increase sales. That's the next message I'll get. Now, that message gives them, first of all, instant gratification. You're acknowledging the fact they're doing well. And then secondly, you are telling them there's a potential for more. Now, when I do that, the most time they would appreciate, oh, thank you so much for acknowledging this. I would love to grow. I will now say, so what are your goals for your brand? Now, I am trying to build a conversation here. I'm not trying to sell you something. That's the first and the most important key factor. Now, the next thing is, you'll be like, oh, I want to make money. I want to get more clients. And the next question, I'll be like, do you work a one-on-one coaching format or a group coaching format? And then they'll be like, oh, a group coaching format. And I'll be like, okay, I help businesses or business owner grow their social media presence, make sales, depends on your offer, in less than 21 days or 31 days with systems tailored for you, right? They will now be like, amazing. This is just the best case scenario. We're going to talk about handling objectives in later videos. So this is the first thing that happens. Now, what happens next is they will now say, oh, gift, how can we work? Now, the next thing, or what does it take, whatever. The next thing I will do is I will ask them what time within the week or what time on Monday would it be convenient for you to hop on a call for me to give you details of what we can achieve. Boom. We'll hop on a call. That call automatically becomes a warm call. And then it's going to be the first call, which is the discovery call. Discovery call, basically, we'll just talk about what we are going to do for you, how you're going to achieve it, your potential, so on and so forth. And then after that, the next thing is we are going to book a closing call. Now, the closing call can be done with the first call. You can use the first call to close. But closing call basically is for corporations or for individuals that are big and they have other subordinates or they have partners, so on and so forth. So the discovery call will be just you and the person, could be the major manager, the CEO, and then the closing call will be you and everybody. You sell them, you collect your money prepaid before the end of the call. Now, lastly, which is going to be the last I'm going to talk about, avoid working for free. Now, I've worked for free before. I won't lie to you, I've worked for free before. But I've noticed the value is not the same when you work for people that pay first. Now, the only time you should work for free is when you know you're just getting started and you completely understand that, oh, I'm just beginning this journey and I really want to build my portfolio. I want to sharpen my skills, so on and so forth. Then I can work for free. But when you've grown, do not work for free and then get paid. Get paid and work at the end, or work till the later part. Why? There's much more interest when you collect money. Your clients understand that, oh, this thing is actually very serious and I have to put in effort, especially when it's a done with you service. There are services that you do with them, not a done for you. A done for you service is basically a service that you are just the one doing everything. You book the calls, you create the content, you do everything for them basically. But done with you, they will create content, it just depends on, but you get the whole story. So collect your money first before any other thing. Do not work for free. When you work for free, there's just so many downsides. You could work for free for some 30 days. At the end of the 30 days, they're now going to tell you, we don't appreciate your service, so on and so forth, right? So try as much as possible to sharpen your skills, but at the same time, ensure you get paid. That is very important. I think probably within the year, I'm going to talk about something I learned called contract arbitrage. Now, I learned this from Iman Gaji, and it has helped scale my agency profit margin. Now, what does contract arbitrage mean? It means I get a contract, I get a project for, let's just assume in Naira, 500,000 Naira. Now, if I get a project for 500,000 Naira, that clearly indicates that I can do the job, but also indicates that I can get someone to do the job for a cheaper rate. For instance, I get a job for 500k. Now, I could get someone that is probably just starting up with my monitoring, with my advice, with my supervision. That person could do that same job for less the price. So our profit margin increases. So that's something we're going to talk about later. I'm going to also show you how I get contractors to help deliver jobs at a cheaper rate that I get, that the agency gets more profit. So that's going to be all for today. Next week, I'm going to show you a template that I use for basically how I arrange my leads that I generate. So I generate leads from something I use D7 Finder. So after I generate leads from D7 Finder, the next thing I'm going to just copy it into Excel format, which is here, and so on and so forth. So that's basically all for today. Just honest review before I progress. I don't know, my Instagram, I'm losing a lot of followers, so I think we're about 8,400 at the moment. I've not uploaded on Instagram for a while. That's because I'm just focused on delivering jobs at the moment for business owners. I will be having power issues, so I've been unable to basically create content for Instagram. That's not an excuse, but you understand, it's not a thing. If you don't know, I'm actually a student of Masters. I'm running my Master's degree in Public Health at the University of Nigeria on Suka. I'm also an on-air personality for a radio station, and I run a business, so that's a lot on my plate. But we're doing very well in my life. I feel very pumped whenever I talk to the camera and I make videos like this. It makes me feel a lot better. Thank you very much for staying tuned. I'm sure this is wow. But oh well, we'll be fine at the end. Try as much as possible to start building a digital skill and make money online. Focus on cash flow. Focus on businesses that will get you money running at a recurring basis. You all know in the agency, what we do is we try as much as possible to ensure that the contract implies a 3-month fixed before any recurrence. So for 3 months, it's automatic. Now that 3 months gives me particularly room to work on your business or your content or the client's business or whatever. Then the next, and that 3 months reduces my pressure towards looking for newer clients. And I automatically knows when someone signs, the person is with us for 3 months. Now, our average lifespan for an agent or for a client is about 4 months, 4 to 5 months. We have a particular client now that we're working for almost 6 months, and she has been well pleased. In fact, the last time we had a call, she was very happy. So client retention is key to us building a digital marketing agency. And like always, my name is Bishop Gift. People know me as Bishop Gift, but basically my name is Gift Matthias. Take care of yourself, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.